Good morning, Reptilians. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Elle and this is Elle's Reptiles. This week we are doing sort of a supply list, I guess. I've done these sorts of things kind of in the past in my How Much Does This Animal Cost series, but this week we're just going to be talking about everything that I personally use for my bearded dragon. This is not a run out and buy all these things sort of video. This is just a video of the supplies that I personally use. Hopefully this will kind of give you an idea, if you are looking into getting a bearded dragon, into what supplies you will eventually need. Really quickly, I did want to say that we have finally done it and we have made a Patreon. I'm going to try my best to keep up with all the things. If you have any suggestions for things that you would like to see on Patreon, or tiers that you would like to see, or anything like that, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know how I can make that a better experience for you. Currently 3 different tiers. With the top tier, we're actually going to be sending out stickers, like reptile stickers. Not our stickers that are in the shop, most likely. There might be some in there sometimes, but just like lizard stickers, frog stickers, cute little stickers like that. And then also that tier will get sometimes prototypes when we make new items for our shop. Yeah, you guys have asked for a very long time and I was always very hesitant to do it because it's like, I don't know if I can keep up with that. We're gonna try this out. First off, starting with the tank. I use a 6-foot tank from Custom Reptile Habitats. This tank is absolutely amazing. This is not an ad read for them. I've been sponsored by them in the past. This video is not sponsored, but I do just really love this tank. And the background is made by me and Den. I'm not 100% super psyched about the background. I feel like we could have done it a little better. I think I mostly did this one. It could have gone better. It wasn't the vision that I had, but it's fine. The background is made out of a mixture of Universal Rock scraps, just other tank backgrounds that kind of are like flimsy like Universal Rocks, spray foam, silicone, cocoa fiber, and then moving on down to the substrate. As far as the substrate for her tank goes, we used a mixture of Scott's topsoil, children's play sand, and I think there's a little bit of excavator clay in there. I don't remember if I put any in her tank. In the past, we've used things like tile. It was my favorite thing for a very long time. There's been multiple people that have talked about studies done that over long periods of time can cause joint issues. So definitely look into that if you're thinking of going with tile. But there's a lot of options for substrate. There's shelf liner, non-adhesive shelf liner specifically. You have a lot of options here. I just personally currently use the loose substrate and she seems to really like it. She's been digging in it. She just really likes it, so I don't think I'm ever going to change that. As far as lighting goes, she is currently using a linear Arcadia bearded dragon light. It's fantastic. It has lasted... When did I set this tank up? I'll put it here. This video is gonna have a lot of editing. I'm so sorry, future me. Very important that you use linear lighting for that bearded dragon for their UV. Just as your bearded dragon would be in the wild and would have sun everywhere, that sun needs to be everywhere. They need to have access to that light everywhere, not just in one little triangle. Arcadia, super good brand. Also, I have used Reptisun, the 10.0 variant, for years and years. Love that one too. As far as her basking bulb, I am currently using a 100-watt basking bulb in a dimmable dome, so it has like a dimmable switch on it. I always get asked, what wattage do I need to use? I don't know. It depends on your room temperature. It depends on the height from the bulb to the basking spot. It depends on the humidity in your house. It depends on everything. My biggest suggestion is just to get a dimmable switch and go as high wattage as you can and just turn it down. That way you can adjust it whenever you need to. You can literally adjust it throughout the day if you need to. I also used to use a ceramic heat emitter in the, it's all dusty and gross now, in the winter time. Obviously I don't use it anymore. Ever since I switched her to PVC tanks, these tanks hold heat really nicely and I have not had to use this. You can also use a Arcadia deep heat projector. Those also don't put off any light and provide heat. So if you need additional heat at night, you can use those. Love those lights. Heat sources. Moving right along to Enrichment, then we're going to get out of the tank section. This isn't just a how to set up your bearded dragon's tank video. Enrichment, she has lots of driftwood, all gathered safely and naturally from local river when there was a huge storm several years ago and it like put out a lot of trees. They were all gathered and safely disinfected. She also has giant logs from PetSmart, plants that mostly came from Home Depot. They were just brought in, cleaned, the soil was changed, and they're good to go. Once you change that soil, just make sure to change the soil and to wash the leaves themselves, because we don't know if Home Depot uses pesticides or if there's chemicals in the soil. I mean, I personally don't know, so I just wash it anyway, so it's better to be safe than sorry. There's enrichment items that you can get to just play with your bearded dragon, like wiffle balls or specific enrichment items that I talked about in an Amazon video a while back. Them digging in Substrate is enrichment. Them being able to climb the walls is enrichment. They just need things to do in that tank. Moving on to vitamins and supplements. I use multiple different things. I just kind of grab whatever I feel like grabbing at that moment, and that's the brand that I use. I just mix it up just to be safe. Currently for vitamins, I am mostly using this dubia dust. The animals really seem to like this one, and Herptivite. I'm using this ZooMed Repti Calcium. This is the one with D3. I also have one without D3 around here somewhere, but I use this with D3 maybe once a month, and then I use the vitamins and the calcium without D3 the rest of the time. Zaz lately doesn't eat that many bugs anyway, but when she does, I basically use the vitamins once a week-ish, and then the calcium without D3 the rest of the times in a week. If she hasn't eaten bugs like at all in a while, then I just kind of put the vitamins and the calcium without D3 in there. I just put them both and mix them up, and yeah, just give her like a little dubia roach cocktail of powders. I don't know. Cleaning supplies. For cleaning Zaz's tank, I use these things. My mind is currently blanking on what they are called, so I will just put them here. I just mix them in a water bottle. You need to dilute these items and spray it in. Read the directions on how to use them, but they're super easy to use. You just kind of let them sit and then you like just wipe them out. Super easy. Those come from bearddragon.co, and one bottle lasts quite a long time, like a long time, but these actually kill parasites. This isn't what everyone uses. A lot of people use things like F10 cleaner, or some people will use diluted bleach to clean tank ornaments. I just use Dawn dish soap. Just make sure you're getting that tank clean. And then let's just talk about some extra things that aren't actually in the tank, but that definitely come in handy. Number one, ReptiSafe. Love ReptiSafe. The water that comes out of my sink smells like straight chlorine. It dechlorinates the water, and it also adds calcium. I just like ReptiSafe because you put a couple drops in and it's good. You don't have to worry about it, and the bottles last, again, for such a long time. Also, a temperature gun. Very, very important. A temperature gun is going to help you to measure the temperature of an exact place on a rock, the exact basking spot temperature or whatever. That exact temperature is going to be measured, as opposed to using a stick-on thermometer. Those temperatures can vary by like 20, 30, 40 degrees. Make sure you use a temperature gun when measuring your bearded dragon's temperature. Their temperature being off is going to mess everything up for them, and they're not going to want to eat. They're going to overheat. They're going to, or they're not going to want to eat, and they're going to be too cold, and they're going to go do brumation. It's going to throw everything off. Make sure you're getting the correct temperature. Make sure you're using hygrometers in that tank that just measures the moisture in the air. Too high of a humidity for too long can lead to respiratory infections for your bearded dragon. Too low of a humidity for too long can lead to shedding issues for your bearded dragons. Speaking of humidity and water in the air, a dropper or like a spray bottle, a mister, can be super helpful. A lot of bearded dragons will not drink standing water. They can't see it. So either spraying their leaves in the morning or spraying their salad, that's a huge one. I always spray Zaz's salad, or dropping water on their nose and letting them drink it are ways that they can get water. A travel carrier. It doesn't have to be like a rabbit travel carrier. That's what I have, but I've used it like a handful of times. You can just have a big Sterilite bin. You just need something that if an emergency were to happen and you need to get your animal to the vet, you have something to get them to the vet. And the last one is a leash or a little pet stroller. These aren't necessarily necessary, but a lot of people like to take their bearded dragons outside, and especially if you've never taken your bearded dragon outside before and you don't know how they're going to react, these things can be helpful to prevent them from sprinting away. Natural sunlight is fantastic for your bearded dragon. I do have two different leashes. I only used one once when I very first started taking her out just to make sure, but she doesn't need it. She doesn't run away. Super helpful to have just in case, especially if you don't know how your animal is going to react to the outside world. And the last one on the list, if you are going bioactive for your bearded dragon's tank, you also need a cleanup crew. This includes non-tropical springtails and some sort of high quality, no, sturdy isopods that can stand up to pretty much anything. I'm not a springtail isopod expert. Darkling beetles are also super helpful in a cleanup crew for arid environments because usually bearded dragons won't eat them because they're in the same family as stink bugs. So usually they're not going to eat them. Okay, I'm so sorry. The last thing that I forgot to mention is a solar meter. I have a lot of pets, and so it became very difficult to try to keep track of which UV lights need to be replaced at which time. So I use a solar meter just to go around and make sure all the UV lights are functioning appropriately. If you only have a bearded dragon, you don't need one of these. Just replace it every 6 months to a year, depending on what brand of UV light you need. But this is just something that I personally use. But that is it. I rushed this video because my camera is about to die. That is all that I have for this video. Hopefully seeing all the things that I use for my bearded dragon will help you if you are also getting a bearded dragon. As always, if you're not already, please feel free to follow me on our socials and like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications every single time I put out a video, which is every Sunday. Nope, it's not. Every other Sunday currently, and some days sprinkled in. We're trying to get back to every Sunday and some Wednesdays. This week's Instagram shout out is here. This week's subscriber shout out is here. Thank you so much for liking and following and subscribing and sharing and commenting and all that jazz. You are the bee's knees. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Yeah, charged enough. Okay. All right. I've kind of done sort of these sorts of things. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say sort. And hopefully, so definitely look into that if you're looking into tile. So definitely look into that. Reptisun 10.0 linear tube lighting. Very, very important. Make sure that you are using linear lighting. Is she using Reptisun? Oh no, she's using Arcadia. My bad. I think this one needs to go into the trash. This is probably a fire hazard, but yeah.